Dobardan, Divine Pisces 222. It is Monday, June 15th, 2020. I'm going to do an energy check-in. Twin Flames today. Happy Monday, everybody. All I can do is laugh, really. You know? Because with everything that's going on in the world, it's either that or you're gonna cry. You know? Absolutely, just like I want to just fast forward through this year. Just want to fast forward through this year. This year over with. We're already in 2021. Everything that's gonna happen this year is already done. I have to deal with it. So over it, guys. I'm just over it. And I know you guys are too. All right. So yeah. I mean. Does anybody else feel like, you know, escaping their reality? Yeah. I think everybody is pretty much at this point where we're like, you know what? I don't like this reality. This reality really sucks. I don't want to be here. Right? But I feel stuck here. I feel like I can't get out of this reality. Some of us are just so actually ungrounded right now because of everything that's going on. It's almost like we're trying to escape within ourselves here instead of trying to deal with what we need to deal with, okay? But I actually find it interesting. Mercury's coming up because Mercury is about to go into retrograde. I want to say it's the middle of this week. It's going into retrograde, which is gonna be bringing up a lot, guys. I feel a lot of stuff coming back. As far as things that we thought we dealt with coming back. People coming back. Maybe from your past. Like people who maybe you have some sort of debt that needs to be cleared. Something along those lines coming in here. But I also feel just in general a return of some energies that we thought we maybe had worked through or cleared, okay? But I do feel it has to do with basically self-control at this point. It's almost like a test, okay? A test, oh, it's always a test, but a test of how well you can control yourself in a situation that seems like, total chaos. Okay, how well can you control yourself in a world that seems to be on fire? Literally. Okay. Because I feel like a lot of us right now, most of us are empaths. Okay, and so a lot of us are trying to detach from the situations. Okay, because of what's going on. We don't want to feel it because we know that once we feel it, we're going to feel everything, you know, because when you're an empath, you feel it all. And sometimes it's really hard to just feel one thing at a time and to give healing to one particular aspect. It's like you open that floodgate and you feel everything. Okay. So it's like literally if I'm going to feel one thing, I'm going to feel everything. So I need to detach completely so I don't feel anything. Right? Does that make sense? But I feel what happens with that is when we turn that off completely instead of learning to control that flow, to control how it makes us feel, it leaves us vulnerable for ego to come in and be like, you know, basically saying, okay, well, you're an ego now, basically. You can't feel anything, so therefore, we're just going to keep you stuck in this loop until you figure it out. And what that does is it closes you off from actually dealing with your own crap. Does that make sense at all? Like, it's like, I feel like a lot of us right now, and that's interesting because we've got Aries and we've got Neptune and we've got Capricorn here. So we've got, this is basically ego to me, okay? So ego and self-worth, okay, and the sense of self, okay, and then you've got Neptune, which is the intuition and the subconscious, and then you've got Capricorn, which is your karmic cycles, okay, and your toxicity. Okay, so it's almost like all of this is coming into play here, okay, to teach us to be in control of ourselves and how we let the external stimulus, how we let the external things, the things that we cannot control, the things outside of us, how we let those things affect us and how well we control ourselves in those situations. Does that make sense at all? And I feel some of this, yes, I mean, the world just at large right now, the world is just going through some serious karmic cycles at this point, but it's also breaking down and it's manifesting. Everybody individually is dealing with something that is a reflection of the global issue that we're having here. See what I'm saying? It all starts here, okay? So it's just like bubbling out. Everybody's dealing with their own thing, but it's like spreading throughout the world until we have this massive explosion, okay? It all comes down to one thing, is karma. We're clearing karma, guys. Major, major karma, okay? And I mean, it really comes down to that. It really comes down to just how much are you taking on that you cannot actually control? How much are you taking on that is not actually your responsibility? Stop feeding into it. Stop feeding into the fear. Okay, it's all a fear cycle. And there are people who are trapped in this bad. They are so trapped in this, they cannot see their way out. And the only thing they see, the only way they see out is by chaos and violence and anger and fear-mongering. Okay? And that's all that's going to do is perpetuate it. It's not going to fix anything. It's not. Okay? So taking a look at masculine energies, I mean, I feel at this point, let's just talk about divine masculine, okay? Divine masculine in general has been dealing with some serious karmic issues having to do with, I feel most of them, it has to do with females in general, like female authority. There's like a, you can call it mommy issues, whatever you want, okay? But I feel that divine masculine has been dealing with this for a while. There's like this deep-rooted resentment with feminine power, okay? Or constantly living under kind of a, literally under a matriarchal or a thumb, okay, kind of a situation. And a lot of it I just feel has to do, again, with expectations. There's like this overwhelming sense of duty that comes in with it, but with that also comes resentment. Okay? And there's a battle with this. There's been a battle going on with this for a while with divine masculine, and it's almost like it's like they don't want to deal with it, but they're dealing with it because they feel like they have to, but at the same time there's resentment there. It's really bizarre to me. It's like, you know what, if you don't like your situation, get out of it. I mean, that's how most of us feel about it, at least most of us who have been in situations like that and who are dealing with it, right? But divine masculine is at that point of making that decision, because where they're at is just not fulfilling whatsoever. But the problem is they have to deal with their emotions. They don't want to deal with their emotions. They don't want to deal with the darkness that comes up. They don't want to deal with the feelings. Because like I said, most of us are empaths. You feel the one thing, you're going to have to feel it all. You open that floodgates and it's just going to, right? And so divine masculine's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I'd rather sit and stew and let it like bubble up on the inside than to actually deal with it, right? But the problem with that is when you sit there and you let it build up, what's going to happen? Right? Kaplooey. Okay? So it's like divine masculine's like trying to decide. This is kind of interesting. It's like he's trying to decide between I know it sounds weird, but it's like pragmatism and dealing with his crap. It's like he doesn't want to ruffle any feathers here, right? But he wants to be in his truth at the same time. And a lot of it's communication. I feel like a lot of them want to communicate in their situation. They feel like they need to communicate in their feelings in the situation. This has been coming up for a really, really long time. Some of them may actually communicate with whoever this is, whether this be a mother figure, be, some sort of prominent female figure in their life. Doesn't even have to be female physically, but it could just a feminine energy, okay? Coming in here. And this could be divine feminine. It could be divine feminine, okay? But I'm getting very strong female influence here. So I'm getting possibly a mother issue. But it could also be a karmic partner or a boss, whatever. Okay, so it's like they're trying to make that decision whether they want to actually express their feelings or not, because there's a lot of resentment here. There's a lot. Okay? But it's like they're trying to put it out of sight, out of mind too at the same time. It's like, do I speak about this? Do I speak my truth? Do I let these people know that I'm not happy where I'm at and that, something needs to change or, whatever. But then it's like, well, if I tell them that and they're like, no, nothing's going to change. You're going to stay exactly where you are. Sit down, good boy. That kind of thing. It's like, nothing's going to change, right? So it's like, it's almost like it's definitely fear of the unknown. Fear of, well, do I stay in my situation where I know it's bad, but I know I can kind of control it by not having any control whatsoever over myself? Or do I actually stand up for myself, and let people know that I'm not happy and risk being rejected? You see? Do I reject myself or do I let others reject me? That's basically the choice that Divine Masculine has right now. Okay. I picked this up earlier with the daily message about familial karma. Divine Masculine's been clearing karma, I do feel, for a while, especially with, I'm getting with mothers. Possibly fathers too, but I'm getting specifically right now that the strong female influence has been coming in for quite a while with Divine Masculine. Okay. Which makes a lot of sense. Okay, so Divine Feminine, Divine Feminine, some of you have been trying to mentally manipulate your situation here, possibly with your masculine, okay? And that could be, again, if this is you in your masculine's reading here, okay? That could be what's coming up here. So it could be in your situation with your counterpart, but it could also be in a karmic situation. There could be a karmic situation that you've been trying to manipulate here. And you can actually be trying to manipulate yourself, okay? Not just the situation, but like manipulate yourself that everything is fine. The world is on fire. Everything's fine. It's that meme, with the dog sitting and like the fire everywhere. And like he's sitting there like drinking a cup of coffee, like this is fine. It's just like Divine Feminine's like, yes, everything's fine. Not really, but okay, right? It's like Divine Feminine doesn't want to admit that everything's not fine too. It's the same thing with Divine Masculine. They don't want to admit everything's not fine. You don't want to admit anything's not fine, because if you feel the one thing, you're gonna have to feel it all, and you're gonna have to deal with it all, and you don't want to deal with it. Okay. So Divine Feminine also in the same spot. She's like, do I communicate that everything's not fine? Do I communicate that I need help? Or do I, try to suck it up and just deal with my crap? But the thing is Divine Feminine, if you're not actually communicating in a situation where you need to communicate, you're not going to deal with anything. Okay? There may be a situation where you're being urged to communicate. Now, this could be in your karmic situation. There may be a karmic situation that you're being urge to resolve or communicate in, okay? It could be with your counterpart. There may be something that is left unsaid that you need to say that you've been holding yourself back from saying, okay? That's legit, all right? Use your intuition, though. Your intuition is coming in trying to guide you in the right direction here. There's something that you're needing to deal with, that you've been manipulating yourself, either A, that you've dealt with it already, or B, everything's fine, right? So what has this done is kind of left you in this, I don't know what the hell to do, kind of energy, right? And this is interesting because we have the 9 of Pentacles in the upright at the end of Divine Feminine's reading. But then we've got the Nine of Pentacles in reverse at the beginning of Divine Masculine's reading. See this? This? What is being cleared right now with Divine Masculine? Okay? Divine Feminine, you have your own issues here that you need to deal with. Okay? Having to do with your abundance. You and it's possible that whatever Divine Masculine is clearing with whoever this female figure is has something to do with you as well. Okay? I mean, that's pretty profound if you ask me. Alright, so let's take a look at the connecting energies. I gotta do this quick because I'm running out of time. I do these on my lunch break and I only get 30 minutes. So. Okay. So, connecting energies. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting. So, yeah. All right. So I'm sorry, when I channel, like my nose itches really bad and I know I'm onto something. So it's like feminine energy, just the feminine energy in general. There's a lot of like, kind of transitioning into a place of power, but there's also this idea, that, Divine Feminine has to relinquish her power in order to be powerful. And that's what I feel is being cleared in these connections right now, guys. Look at that. Okay, I mean, that's pretty profound. Okay, so this whole idea that the feminine energy has to release power in order to be powerful is really interesting. I feel like the karma just in general with female figures being cleared right now, and that could be with Divine Feminine too. You could be having some issues with a prominent female figure in your life right now that is a reflection of you. Okay? Bringing about transition. Okay, well, we need to release what? The toxicity. And of course, this was also in reverse in Divine Masculine's reading. Okay? So, I mean, this whole idea that we have to change our perspective. That's basically what's coming up here. Okay? And releasing these things is what's bringing about this awakening, massive awakening happening across the world right now. Okay, but that also comes with its own set of purging. So a lot of emotion coming up right now in the connections. We're releasing a lot right now. It's going through transition. It's going through awakening. It's going through literally transformation, right? But all for the sake of what? Releasing karma. We're releasing it. Okay, and a lot of us are releasing karma with parents right now. That's the main thing, okay? And you know, I find it interesting too that, I mean, my ex-karmic, I'm pretty sure I cleared a lot of karma with my mother through him, okay? I'm not gonna lie. They were pretty much the same person, okay? My karmic and my mother. Energetically, okay? You know, and I actually said that to him a lot. He hated it because they did not like each other at all. Which, again, I find ironic. Same person. But I'm pretty sure I cleared a lot of karma with my mother through him, okay? Yeah. All right, so messages and advice. I'm sorry, no. Messages from your counterpart. All right, now messages and advice. Okay. Yes. Okay, so with surrender comes wisdom, guys. That's what I'm talking about. Release the control. Some of you are still trying to control your situations. I'm telling you, mentally manipulate them, emotionally manipulate them, sometimes manipulating yourself. It's like you're trying to... Some of you are just trying to not ruffle any feathers. You know? Like, I get that. I get that. A lot of us are non-confrontational. I'm very non-confrontational. But you know, you gotta stand up for yourself. You can't just sit there, you know, and expect the universe to do it for you, okay? You've got to make that move. You've got to find that strength. You've got to muster up the testicular fortitude, whether you're a man or not, okay? You want to, you know, ovarian fortitude, whatever you want to call it, to get yourself moving, okay? Like, bring everything back into balance. Stop sitting there, you know, again, equating stubbornness with strength. It is not the same thing. It's not. It's not. Okay? And staying in an abusive situation, staying in a situation where you're unhappy and you're sacrificing everything to make everybody else happy, but you are kind of left out in the cold, that is not being strong. That's being manipulated. You're being abused. Get out of that. Okay? Alright guys, I hope this has helped. If it has, please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.